and I took December as well. It's now mid-January and I am this person. I've even got as far as March before I've decided to get back out for a run. How do you combat the feeling of feeling as low as you do when you start back running and you feel like a beginner again, and you do ask yourself, how did I manage to run 4:30 for a half marathon, or and all the whatever level you are, but how do you get yourself back on the horse? Because some people unfortunately can burn out after a marathon. They can do too much and just
Yeah,
lose the
yeah, yeah.
love of running.
I suppose there's two elements to the marathon training. There's the physical and there's the mental side. Like I'm more big obviously on the physical side of getting someone prepared, and then there's a small bit on the mental side. Whereas a lot of people will put a focus on the mental side and forget about the physical, but the mental will only carry you so much. You need to have done the work. So I think like post marathon, it's important that like you don't completely, down tools. And if you do, like I said to you earlier, is like just pick little small targets maybe to kind of to get you going, whether it's a park run on a Saturday, or maybe you might sign up for a small race with your friends and you do it together. You might run with someone maybe that's a little bit slower than you and kind of like feel like you're helping them, so little things like that. Yeah, it's just it's kind of like figuring out what works for you, like because after a marathon block, you have this massive high and then you have this massive low, and it's how you pick yourself up from the low. So like if you go out and like you run this massive PB, you're like after 3 or 4 days it wears off, and then you're sitting there going, what am I doing with my life? I'm not training. I miss running. But then you don't want to get back into it too quickly, because I've seen that before where people they get back into it the following week. I've done it myself. Like I remember running a marathon, and 2 days later I was out running, and I'm going, why am I out running? Like I really need to recover. But I was still on the high, and I wanted to keep the high going. And the way I felt keeping the high going was to continue training. But I look back and now I go, what were you at? Like you needed to rest for your head. And that's where I suppose the mental side comes into a post marathon, where you need to work on that and figure out, well, what is my next goal? What can I do to get there? Have I used a coach? Am I happy with the coach I'm with? Am I using an app? Am I happy with it? You just have to figure it out. Like, what am I going to do in this next kind of journey towards maybe running another PB? Or maybe you also have people that maybe had an absolute stinker of a marathon. They thought they'd done the perfect block, and then on the day it just didn't happen for whatever reason, and they got to figure that out. Then, like, did I do enough? Did I do enough long runs? No, the guy there, Kieran Sexton, rang me yesterday, and he said to me, looking back on my training last year, I only did 3 runs above 26K. And this year, I think I've done 10. And like already that's given him loads of confidence. I heard it on another podcast, someone saying, look back on your Strava and congratulate yourself for what you've done. I love the little one where I'm ringing someone up and they're chatting away, and then you say to them, Seán, you've done 2,500 kilometers for the year. And you're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Check out your Strava. And they're like, you swear they ran a PB then. They're like, oh, I hit 2,500. I can't believe that, Or I gave another lad, Mick, a little kick up the arse. And I says, you all set for Dublin? He's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was like, um, you've done 350K for the year. And he's like, yeah, I probably need to do a bit more.
Gonna do 10% of his yearly running on the weekend. It's
Yeah, 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 yeah.
look, I can't judge. I've been that guy as well, so it's definitely something that we try to manage. It is very difficult, and a marathon experience, and I think that's where clubs and coaches can really help. Well, like, and I hold my hands up to it. If it's me versus me post marathon, and I have a choice of a run and the couch, I lose every time to the couch. But when you have a group or when you have a coach and you have
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
that's gonna,
definitely.
like you said, give you a kick in the ass, it makes a big difference.